Okay, so basically what I just did was accidentally click on it and take it to my top-down desk cam, which is currently just looking at like a load of rubbish that I need to throw out.
Eh.
Um, but yeah, so
Professor Yaffle, you have too much power.
Professor Yaffle broke my game.
Ain't nothing for this gal to sing about now. Zia, you
So the kid goes to the edge of the world and meets Zia again.
You just had
Like, hey, we're here to rescue you. Oh. Oh, you weren't kidnapped? Oh. Well, that's awkward then.
Man, we are bad at this.
So we just murdered like 20, 30 something people of the last people on the in this region to rescue someone who wasn't even kidnapped.
And that'd be really cool if I could be bothered to like do anything.
I don't need to see what happened to the Ura.
Oh wow, I missed that the first time, but Rux gets very defensive about that one. I know we genocided them, but I'm trying to fix it.
Sure you didn't drop that twangy thing on purpose? Just to see if he go after you?
I missed that bit about how you get the that next bit of backstory is that the part of the walls floated by, so Rux just grabbed some grabbed some stuff that was lying on it. I like that implies that all these bits of like flying ruined crap are what's the word for it? Like they're just aimlessly floating around.
Is this the final level?
It is.
Huh.
Point of no return get.
I can't hear him at all anymore. He's too far away.
Come on, come on, come on. Ow! My face. Even in this final level.
Actually, something I just noticed from that pop-up, Rux has been saying he was able to hear the kid's voice. So up until this point, Rux has been in communication with the kid, which I feel like sort of justifies the lack of agency he seemed to have, because he's been getting orders. So this is the first time in the game after you reach the Bastion, where the kid is truly on operating based on their own choices.
On the other hand, like, I feel like we should establish that just following orders is not an acceptable defense.
Yeah, no, that's legit.
I am very much playing Bastion to say I have finished Bastion, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Taken by the calamity.
I didn't actually mean to heal, but oh well.
Be there all alone, just waiting. You know what's funny?
Huh. Rux is apparently under the impression that the terminals are empty.
All of us are waiting for a kid.
Congratulations, Bastion is actually a shown anime world.
Look around. There's not much left to do here in Bastion, I'm afraid. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right?
I do feel like this is something that, when I first started playing the game, I would have deliberately avoided and just run through out of, like, spite for the game. So I will say it's managed to get me in its rhythm.
That's true. You are playing very differently than you were at the start.
There's another reason.
I mean, part of it is just they finally given me a weapon that I actually enjoy using, and I use it in situations where I probably shouldn't.
Nah, you find what works for you and you stick with it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Stab, stab, stab.
Disease the air planet here will go away. What happens to Zolf will no longer matter.
What do you mean, the disease the Euro planted here? Have you forgotten your own exposition, old man? Rock's head.
Basically. So, what he's saying is the Ura dug holes in the Bastion, which resulted in something wrong coming out. Except we've established as part of the Calamity Cannon thing that the something wrong is the byproduct of the science that makes the Calamity.
Yeah.
So it's far more likely that they just dug a hole in it and then the bullshit that's powering it started leaking out.
Everyone will be all right.
All right,
am.
that elite squad is not playing too nice.
It's funny because they're dead.
We'll all be gone.
I feel like I should have paid more attention to his
Oh, we're
to
not
his
gonna
stuff.
die. It's more like we'll just stop.
Oh God, that was not the right time to have that comedic an entrance.
Things will go back to the way they used to be.
And now we have Rux unveiling what he thinks the big plan is.
That's the power of the Bastion.
If he could turn back time to the good old days. So basically,
The way things were.
his plan is just the lyrics to 21 Pilots is stressed out.
Yeah, his plan is to load a save state.
Oh, now I have a jump mechanic. That
Yep,
was
they wanted to make the
weird.
last level special, I guess. Also, I think it's probably a way to strip you of your whatever gear you're using to get the loadout they want you to have for the final battle.
Go your way.
Here's Zolf's making it, or here's Rux is making his pitch to Zia. Because, you know, time travel is totally a thing she wants.
No, you don't understand. Everyone was an asshole to me, both the Euro and you guys. It was just like, I was totally on your side when you just said we're gonna wipe out everyone.
Setbacks.
Have you seen the average person in this universe? You're all dicks. All of you.
You follow me? No mistakes.
The closest thing to a savior you have is a mass murdering kid. Jump.
Anyone you've ever heard, come on, keep your chin up.
And Rux is making a lot of bad assumptions here too.
You could do it over.
Think like his whole thing. Think about it. You can go back, undo all those mistakes. You're not going back with your memories, friend.
I guess there's nothing more to
It's
say.
like, you know what would happen if you went back to do it all over again? You'd do it all over again.
Damn it! I was pressing D, not F.
When we're finished,
Oof.
everything will change.
Hopefully it resets to a checkpoint.
This will just
It takes me back to where I landed here with the hilarious comedy opening.
the way they used to be.
Ah, well, at least they divide this into sections for that. It'd be pretty painful to go back all the way back to the start.
Bastion
I'm going back to the start.
is a living record of the times before the calamity.
I feel like you should just stop shooting at me. Right. Jump over, jump over.
You'll be your old self again. Think of all those times that didn't go your way.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like, returning to my child, to, like, my youth with the knowledge I have now about, like, the bits that I fucked up and stuff,
Life's little setbacks.
that's actually, you know, that's really, really tempting.
Have another go at 'em.
Oh yeah, it's just
No mistakes.
he's given no indication you actually keep your memories. Like reloading a save state on the world probably reloads you too. At least that was my interpretation on it.
Everything you've ever done.
Maybe it only applies to, you know, for people on,
Grand. Wouldn't you agree?
like, if you're on the Bastion, it might preserve you.
Well, I guess there's nothing more to say.
Except, this boss does a lot of damage. This guy isn't even a boss, is he?
Who am I kidding?
He's mid boss probably. I think you're probably expected to block his charges and then counterattack.
Well, if we all went around doing what this game expected us to do, we wouldn't be here on this stream, would we? Actually, that's a lie. I've done exactly what the game has expected me to do.
Nah, that's not true. You avoided combat for the entire first third.
There's something else.
I mean, that was less to do with what the game expected me to do, and more that, you know, I didn't like the combat in the first third. Oh my god, that's a really good way of handling New Game Plus in-game. You reset everything and they just made the exact same fucking mistakes.
Yep.
How come I know so much about the Bastion?
Because it's a reset. Besides, the people in the Bastion don't have political power anyway. They couldn't actually, even if they did keep their memories, it would just be it'd be like going back in time and knowing that the president's going to launch a nuke in 2 years. It's like, well, that's good information, I guess. So Rux was apparently in charge of the Bastion project.
Okay, so rocks might actually have the power to...
That sets things back to a bygone time. You can't test it.
Oh my god, rocks. Nothing about you is smart, rocks.
Yep, that's the other reason why he was like, oh, he let you travel back in time. You have no idea if that works.
Even by the standards of Gandalf figures, Rox is a dumbass. And I'm gonna point out, the original Gandalf got himself beaten by falling down a hole.
So you're probably wondering if the calamity happened already.
You're a wizard, get on your broom.
Happening again. After the past
So nothing like isometric platforming, eh?
Nothing like actually kind of bad isometric platforming, to be honest.
I've never seen good isometric platforming. I think it's all like this.
Ukulele had a really good isometric platforming section in the isometric castle, where icy is ICY because it's in the ice level.
you're wondering if there ain't some other way out of this place.
But there again, a big problem with ukulele was
Want another way. Unless you wanted to stay here with us.
a big problem with ukulele was the camera. So having an isometric section where the camera is settled for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I definitely agree with chat there. Rux was put in a position of power because he sounded reliable. Also, watching this through again, it's amazing how much Rux is clearly misunderstanding the situation. Like Zia, he's talking to Zia about this, and she clearly doesn't seem sold on the time travel. He's like, "Oh, you must want to stay here with all of us." It's probably more a mix of, number one, you're a random mad scientist who helped blow up the world. Number two, you just said this wasn't tested. And number three, we just read her backstory. Her past fucking sucked.
It's on our shoulders.
Don't you want to go back when you were abused by everyone?
Go.
I didn't ask for this. Why are you giving me this? Fuck off! Fuck off!
They have something. They have a very specific thing they want you to use, sadly.
Strictly speaking, if ever the money.
Oh great, I don't have a shield anymore either. I just hide behind the fucking pillar.
Yep.
Fuck off! Fuck off! It's a battering ram for its main attack. Like, its left shift attack is me slamming it on the ground. Fuck off! I know I keep saying that, but I really want to establish just how... What?
And what's great is I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be like feel like a moment of power. Like this is supposed to be the ultimate weapon.
It feels like I'm some plonk carrying a pillow around and occasionally slamming it on the ground, and somehow that breaks everything else. I can't even jump. Why did you introduce the jump just before this if I can't jump now?
You could jump with that.
Nope.
Oh no, you're right. It changed to that fire from the sky thing. And I know the real reason is because they're setting up for another mechanic, but like, yeah, the kid now wields the weight of the calamity.
It's not the weight of calamity, it's a random fucking pillar. He wielded the weight of calamity earlier with the calamity cannon, and I got rid of it, remember? Go away! Can't you see that I'm using something? God. I feel like I'm wielding the goose from the Untitled Goose Game. It's your final level, Bastion. Why are you... Like, legitimate question, why are you introducing new mechanics now? This is the bit where you test us on all the mechanics we've learnt along the way. did you just not have enough time to like program the final act, where you actually like have a finale, and so you're just like, oh shit, you know, all these bits that we're gonna have in like the third section, we're just gonna have to chuck at the player now. If my voice sounds weird, that's because I've been yelling at this game and this battering ram for too long.
Nah, this is intended to be the epilogue, I think. Like, this is supposed to be the post game, basically. Like, that weapon's supposed to just casually one-shot everything without you having to even care about it anymore.
But the thing is, I move so slowly.
Oh, I'm not saying you're not wrong. I just think that the intention is different.
Oh. I'm not gonna lie, Bastion has had the most impressive quadratic curve shaped, like, my, like, opinion loop for me that I've ever seen any game have.
One thing's for sure. Mira can't be happy that the kid followed Zolf all the way home.
Oh. That was... Okay, I'm gonna take Zolf.
Now, the kid in one corner and Zolf in the other. Ain't much of a fight.
What, you don't want to carry the battering ram on to victory?
Don't you worry though. Once the Bastion's restored, it'll all be alright.
Okay, I like this bit, you know,
Still thinking about that whole leaving the city thing.
carrying Zolf's body.
Yeah, I think they gave you the pillar so that you could have that choice without it affecting the mechanics, but yeah, it does not work well.
I mean, I like that there is a choice, finally. And I also like I don't have a health bar, so I'm just gonna keep going while getting shot. Like, that's really cool.
Oh, that's actually an update.
Oh, okay.
That's cool, because the first time I played it, I like tried to go as far. Oh no, never mind. It does give you the heal option, because it's. I wasn't sure if it was actually like a scripted thing or not the first time I played it.
Sweet home, I see your star. You left it burning for me.
Did one of them just explode?
I don't know.
I'm here.
Oh.
Eyes open wide. Feel your heart and it's glowing. Kid's probably dealt with Zolf by now.
And a man was speaking.
The Uruk highly requests you take your friend and fuck right off. Thank you.
I think the Ura are just like, are we about to get killed by that kid beating us with another guy?
He finally stops. Just let him go. No, just let him go.
One last kid lying face down on the ground.
Get up, kid.
I don't wanna... Wait.
Come on, that ain't funny.
So I think we can say Zolf's had a pretty crappy week.
That's more like it. Now, set that shard into the monument there. Then we'll talk.
Cool.
The Bastion. It's finally finished. Now, there's something I want you to see.
I noticed Sebastian doesn't have anything like food production or places for people to live other than the tents they've jury-rigged?
To the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting. So you
Yeah.
can do the honors. We can tell you
Rux
how it
doesn't
works.
seem to have been too great at design.
So, let's see. You can either prevent the calamity, or stick around with me and Rux. I'd hate to be in your shoes.
Oh hey, Leah's got a voice now.
If I could be any place I wanted, I'd stay right here. We could go anywhere in the world. Zulf tried to talk me into joining him. I tried to talk him out of it. I guess we both failed.
So you get the choice between the history and the future.
When I finally found my people, I told them we could help. They just took me for a traitor. Glad you showed up. Any moment I'd want to live again happened after the calamity, not before.
I feel like Zia is kind of biased by the fact that literally everyone in her life was a shit to her.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the point. Like her line said, everything that's happened in her life happened after the world exploded, which is just awful.
And before I forget,
About the same for the kid too.
always wondered what the motherland was like. Not that it matters anymore.
Actually, no, it's established the kid was sort of happy as a kid, like as a young child,
Only
but
brought more ruin to the Ura. No wonder they didn't take kindly to him.
And that ruin was me!
You've got one thing left to do, so you hang on to that badge. Besides, you earned it. Don't let anything you've done get to you. You can save all those creatures here and now.
Okay, so... we're just going to make the same mistakes again. Restoration is meaningless. We're just going to fuck it up again.
yep, because none of the values have changed. It's literally reloading a save state.
Too bad, old man. The only reason I was
And here I
listening to you is because you were the only voiceover. But now Zia has her own.
could have run you down and said, but instead you want to stay in a world like this.
At least
Gotta admit, kid,
if I do it,
I ain't yet put much thought in that idea.
if I carry on, at least there's a possibility of finding something else. Rather than just
We can't go back.
repeating the same mistakes.
I suppose we could.
And the Ura are obviously like they're not better off, but they're still doing fine.
Yeah.
And if anyone's left out there, I sure would like to see the look on their faces when we dock this thing right on that doorstep. Getting ahead of myself, though. I'm gonna need a first mate. What do you say?
Can you just imagine, you're sitting in the motherland, you hear that one of the colonies seems to have exploded, and then this fucking thing just comes crashing down into the harbor.
With all 4 crew members falling off it on their faces. So, I did not expect to finish the whole of Bastion in the stream. I just thought I was going to be finishing off the wild section. So, 1... so just thinking about the last section... I can't really talk... Okay. The last section, a lot of it did not seem to assume that I'd be taking the mortar. Because I feel like actually quite a lot of it would have been quite a bit more difficult without the mortar. I like how 2 guys have the job of map beautification, Which, you know, they did a good job of it. Overall, this was a game of ups and downs, and holy shit was that. The beginning did not grab me. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that the beginning is kind of bad. The plot is interesting and told in a very interesting way, which I don't think always lands. I like the final ending. I don't necessarily like the path that I took to get to it. But everything after I trade Zolf for the battering ram is really good. The battering ram, I think I made my thoughts clear on that section while I was playing it. It was not a good choice. If I had to sum up Bastion, it would be inconsistent. The end of the plot was ultimately satisfying enough that I'm like, okay, you know, there's a lot of things to like in Bastion. There's great visuals, very interesting way to tell, even the way that it tells the plot is interesting. I feel it could have done more with Zia for large chunks of it, to be honest. Although I think, again, like, they had her voice actress for like 2 days. So, you know. Yeah, an ultimately satisfactory ending. Thing is, like, it's one of those things where I usually say the best things to, like, review and write about are things that are, if you look at them as, like, an average of their parts, they're mediocre. But that's because they have a large chunk in the good side and a large chunk in the bad side, and they average out to 0. I'm probably going to be writing a blog post about Bastion. I should probably finish the Zelda one first, which is 6,000 words long, for fuck's sake. I still haven't explained why Zelda drew heroin. The only issue with writing a blog post about it is that I might want to go back and check things. And at the end of the day, I'm going to have to say I do not feel the need to replay this game. Ever. I'm glad I've got it. I'm glad I've done it. I'm glad I got it out of the library. I think it was ultimately... It had enough good things about it that I'm glad I experienced it, and I understand why it was such a big name for a while. I'm going to put it back on the shelf and I'm never going to pick it up again. Is basically the situation here. So yeah, that was Bastion. I'm just watching all these nice people. APAC. I'm assuming that's not the APAC that I'm thinking of, which is a lobbying group. I can't be bothered to check that. So yeah, like the soundtrack, like the visuals. I like a lot of the... Basically, I like everything but the game part.
That's legit. Also, didn't realize it had been 8 years already.
Holy fuck. This came out when I was in undergrad, and I'm now near the end of my PhD. They came out when I was in early undergrad.
Yeah, I think I was just starting college as well.
Actually, the fact that it's 8 years old is a thing where, like, this still looks gorgeous. And I feel like we kind of passed the point a while ago where I feel games stopped actually looking better.
I'll agree. Years ago they hit the point where the fidelity is increasing, but it's either still dangerously close to the uncanny valley, or it's just it's not as appropriate for the gameplay as stylization would be.
Yeah. Okay. Supergiant has released 3 more games since this one. I know. Okay. The sound's going to disappear because I'm opening up Steam, and I'm going to try and avoid switching to a different, switching to a different, what's it called? Oh joy, that's a thing I want to buy on Steam. Chinese Parents.
Huh.
On the other hand, it looks like it might be made by Chinese people, so, you know. Right. Where's my library? So, I definitely have... What's it called? Transistor. That's something I definitely have somewhere in my library. So, like... Just in terms of what I've got left of like games I've got left to play without buying, I've got stuff to do here. So yeah, that was Bastion. Thanks for watching me do it. I think tomorrow I'm gonna edit the 4 parts of this and put them up on YouTube. And that's it. Thanks for Hood for coming along. Thanks for Yaffle for joining us in the chat. And yeah, I'm not playing Bastion again, but I think it's probably worth it that I did. Bye.